men have inflicted violence and oppression on the world in ways that are irreparable. Like, it's okay if we say that out loud. It's okay if we say that men are inherently evil. I feel like sometimes the misconception about my content is that it's to solely get them. Like, oh, all you do is roast men. That's what you do is you roast. That's true. That's part of what I do. That is true.
What's up, YouTube? So today we got a video by Drew Afualo. Now, I think I'm going to butcher that last name the whole video, so I'm just going to call her Drew. Apparently, she's a man-hating feminist that's super popular on TikTok. She openly hates men. She admits to hating men, and she's garnered a massive audience strictly off the sole passion of hating men, which I think is interesting in and of itself, but let's go ahead and get into the video.
About my fiance when he was still my boyfriend at the time, and I talked about how he got me a gift for Valentine's Day, which was he paid for a year's worth of nail appointments, like in advance. Well, it was 6 months and then 6 months later, but like he found my current nail tech, like told her she likes her nails like these shapes, she likes these colors, she likes these designs, whatever, asked her if she could do it, and then paid her all up front and in cash with tip too, and then made my appointments for like 6 months. So he gave me, that was one of the gifts he got me for Valentine's Day.
Loved it.
Right, period. And then I talked about it in a TikTok, and that was the first one I ever got like views on. That was like the first TikTok I ever started getting views. And then shortly after that, I made a video about very specific red flags in men. Like someone said, what are some specific red flags in men you have? And so I made that video, and that was my first video to really take off. Like when that one took off, that was when I went like super viral.
People want to know, like, how do you live at this intersection of I hate men, I see all this terrible behavior online, but I'm with a man, I'm marrying a man. And by the way, Ashley and I make fun of men too, but we have like great fathers and brothers, friends. And
most do. Most women who do hate men have great fathers, brothers, and men.
The bar is high.
Yeah,
also for who gets to be around us.
Yeah,
so we do think there's like great men. Obviously, you found one, so did Ashley. Yeah. But like, how do you live at that sort of like intersection of the two?
I mean, I think it's a lot simpler than people think. I think people overcomplicate it. It's just, I'm not talking about you.
Amen.
But it doesn't change the inherent fact that men are evil. That is true. Like man as a whole is evil.
So it's an inherent fact that men are evil, meaning that men are inseparable from evil because it's inherited that they have evil inside of them. But your specific man ain't evil. Who is gobbling this nonsense up? This is silly shit right here. This is a woman who is in love with a man who's trying to sell books. If you're just trying to sell books, that's fine. But what are we talking about right now? Men are inherently evil, but her boyfriend isn't evil.
Like just as an entity, a general idea. Men have inflicted violence and oppression on the world in ways that are irreparable. Like, it's okay if we say that out loud. It's okay if we say that men are inherently evil. It's like, it's not all men, but for some reason, always a man. Every time something terrible happens, always a man. Like 99% of the time.
Always something good happens, always a man. Every time electricity just turns on, always a man. Every time you have running water, always a man. McDonald's. And I'm saying this now because she's saying she hates men. At what point as a guy can I crack a joke? This is a big lady. At what point can I crack a joke? It's just a little jokey joke. But I'm just saying, like, if you're going to attribute all of the negative things that have been done throughout history to all men, well, then you have to give us at least some credit for all the good things. And I'm not saying that women don't create good things. Women create life. I think it's a beautiful thing. I watched my wife create consciousness in 9 months. It was amazing. But if I'm going to be willing to give women credit for that, you should at least be able to give men credit for the McDonald's that you eat all the time. You're using a microphone. You're on a podcast. You get paid digitally. All those payment programs, digital. All of that's men. Everything that she's doing right now is all men. But everything that men do is inherently evil. This is just like, this is the contradiction of the feminist mind in play right here.
So I feel like it's a lot simpler than people may think. I don't hate my man. I hate most men. And for me, I think given what men have done to me personally, to people I love, and the world as a whole, if they all start guilty and have to work their way to innocent, it's not really a big deal to me. I feel very like convicted in that. It's very like, if you're not awful, prove it. I've had what I.
So if I have previous bad experiences with women, I can just tell them if they don't serve me. If you're not awful, prove it. So pretty much if you don't serve me as I see fit, then I'm going to automatically deem you as mean until you prove yourself to me. That's silly. Now I understand a baseline respect for all people, but for you to say you're not going to respect people until they prove to you that they're good by serving you, essentially, that's just weird to me. Like this is some weird stuff. And I'm just going to be quite frank here. I think it's weird that women could create a whole audience of strictly hating men. I think it's weird that, like, and you could call me a hater, I think it's weird that people like her can get opportunities outside of TikTok and they start their platform based on openly admitting to hating men. Like, that's crazy. Like, I don't think any man in the world can actually draw in an audience from hating women. I think there are people on the outside that can give their opinion on the content and say, well, that looks like you're a misogynist and you must hate women. I would never listen to any man that said that they hated women because it would be silly. Why would I do that? I love women. I'm married to a woman. I have a mother. I have people around me. I don't understand how women can draw in an audience of women while openly saying that they hate men when all of their female followers have men around them almost constantly. They probably have male co-workers they're cool with. They probably have some of them have a dad, I would hope. You get brothers, like come on now. And then they try to paint this narrative that most of the men are evil people. So you telling me most of the men you know are evil people? Your dad, your cousins, your uncles, they're evil. They're evil people. And that's how they sell it. And that's how they justify being bad people by saying in the past men have done bad things, but without attributing any of the good things that men have done. I know I'm going on rants here, but it's crazy to me.
I like to describe as borderline delusional confidence since I was younger. You couldn't tell me shit. You still can't. But like when I was a kid, especially, you couldn't tell me anything. Mm-hmm. Like I just thought I was the most awesome person alive, which I still think now. And it's never been at the like detriment of others. Mm-hmm. It's always been like, I think I'm awesome. I think you're awesome.
Yeah.
That's always been my mentality about myself. So like when I was younger, I never really took a lot of stock or value in what I looked like. Mm-hmm. When I got hit puberty, I loved makeup. I loved being a girly girl, that kind of stuff. But I never thought to myself, I'm going to do this because men like it.
Uh-huh.
Come on, man. Drew, you got on makeup. You're not doing that because men. You're not doing that because men find out. You're doing that for yourself, of course, right? The nails, that's for yourself. The hair, like all of this is for yourself. All of the makeup, it's all for yourself, right? You're not doing. Drew, you are you're not an attractive woman, and that's okay because there are a lot of unattractive people. I'm one of them, but luckily I'm a man and I have a podcast, and sometimes you get a little bit more attractive when you have a little money. I'm not saying all the time. I'm just saying that it's okay to not be attractive, but for you to just be, she's trying to act like she's like the epitome of confidence. I'm the female boss of confidence. And the reason why I'm kind of making a little poking jabs is because she's literally sitting here saying that like men are evil and that she hates men openly. And with that type of hatred towards people, you can't expect anything positive to come back, right? So I'm trying to even limit it, but I'm saying Drew is not an attractive woman, and I think right now she's on the rise because unattractive women have convinced attractive women to follow the feminist movement. And so unattractive women have gained a lot of power by promoting BS like body positivity and all these other different things. And so we've kind of pushed unattractive women to the forefront as what it means to be strong because they're not conventionally attractive. And Drew's trying to do that. It seems like she's trying to do this thing about confidence. And it's just weird to me. It's fine to at some point when you were prepubescent to not have had the most confidence in the world because you hadn't accomplished anything in your life yet. Like, that makes sense. But to try to sit here and go, oh, I've always just known I was the best person ever for absolutely no reason. And when I did start putting on makeup, you got a strong chin, Drew. You got the crimson chin action going on. You swallowed a GameCube, and it's still there. So don't try to sit here and act like you're not one of us, bro. Google gobble. We both ugly. It's all cool. It's fine. But don't try to do this.
I would always do it because I liked it.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody ever say to you, like, well, shouldn't we? I can't even say it without laughing. It's so stupid. Shouldn't we coach men? Don't you ever want to, like, teach them how to be better? Like, what responsibility do you have to, like, teach men? And, like, are you just like, I don't want to teach them anything. I want to help women help each other.
Yeah. I mean, well, they didn't come out of my coochie, so it's not my fucking problem, is it? Like, it's not my problem to, you want me to train grown men to care about women? No. That's how I feel about it.
Right.
I truly feel like you're a grown up. Be a grown up, right? I feel like sometimes the misconception about my content is that it's to solely get them, like, oh, all you do is roast men. That's what you do is you roast. That's true. That's part of what I do. That is true. There's a greater message and a greater objective at play, though, which is I'm empowering women and anyone else they harm. Men harm not just women. It's not just women that they inflict harm on. If you really are an intersectional activist in any way, you'll know that there's many different intersections that they violently oppress. It's not just cis women, cis straight women specifically, that they harm with their content, with their fucking jokes, with all their bullshit that they put online. So my goal, I don't give a fuck about the men that I fuck up. I don't know if that's hard to hear. I don't care at all. I don't care about their feelings. I don't care about their livelihood. What the fuck? You think I care about what your life looks like after this? I don't care at all. What I care about is how people see me react to the shit you say online. I want them to see how I react to it, how I don't internalize it, and I keep going forward.
Right. And also it's like, again, you're a grown up, and if you actually cared, if you cared about the harm that you've caused as a man, as a white man, the misogyny, all this, then you'd educate yourself. I mean, it's the same when you talk about race. It's like a white person being like, "Well, please educate me," and it's like, educate yourself.
Yeah,
This is so. It's like they're hitting every key note of what it means to be on the left right now. And I'm not trying to make it overly political, but they're just doing the white man thing, the cis women thing, the blah bitty bloop. It's like it all comes in a package, and it's just all wrapped into hatred and wanting people to beg for you to love them, and it's just not gonna happen, bro. People are done caring. Like people are done caring about the trans stuff, about the guilt stuff with being white. People don't care anymore. Men are stopping caring. They're dropping out. Like people just don't care anymore about the wanting people to just kiss your butt because you just demand it. It's so weird. It's such
You read a book.
Exactly.
You are an adult.
Emotional labor. It's put on women. It's put on people of color. It's put on gay people. It's put on trans people. It's the emotional labor and toll. Like so, in addition to the ignorance and the oppression I suffer, I also have to hold your hand while I explain to you why it's bad. Like, and also, do men listen to women who hate women? So like if men hate women, men listen to women? No, obviously not.
Totally.
So the men
but you're just assuming that men hate women. Men do not hate women, bro. That would be stupid. No, I don't know a single man that hates women.
Do hate women. That's really at the very center of it. It's they hate us. They're attracted to us, but they don't like us and they don't love us. Like they hate us and they want to subdue us.
Her husband, he hates her. He doesn't love her. He's just attracted to her. He's just attracted to her. Physically. That's why he's with her, because he's physically attracted to her. Come on now. I'm sure he is also, but she may be a good person to him at some point. Like, I'm assuming there's something else there. If it's just strictly physical attraction and that's what she's selling, that's just silly, bro. Come on now. That's just not how men look.
So I don't play that shit. So I always say, if you want to be talked to in a nice, gentle way and handled in a way that's like, hey, this is why you shouldn't say that, then I wouldn't attack me. I'd attack somebody else. I wouldn't attack because that's not how I handle it. So I think respect begets respect. If you don't give it to me, you're not getting it from me. It's pretty simple.
How do we stop competing with each other?
I mean, I don't know the answer to that, but first of all, go to therapy. I highly
Yeah.
encourage people to go to therapy.
Yeah.
If you can and you want to, I highly encourage. I think more than anything, it's just focusing on you, like focusing on what makes you uniquely yourself. I think it's getting rid of the male gaze entirely, like the way you look at things, the way you look at yourself. I think the biggest key, honestly, is just unpacking all of your internalized biases. That's homophobia, transphobia, misogyny, the big ones, racism, also things like fat phobia, ableism. Like when you want,
she wants to get rid of fat phobia.
Pack all of that shit. It's kind of scary when you do it because you think to yourself, like when I was going through that phase and I was unpacking a lot of shit and I first started going to therapy, I started thinking about my career aspirations when I was in college. Like I was really thinking, I was like, if I get to the center of this and I find out I was only doing that for men, I'm going to kill myself. Like I was like, no way, I can't do that. I can't do that. Like if I found out the only reason I wanted to work in football was because I wanted to impress men. Oh my God, horror.
That's actually what I was asking you earlier.
I was like, that's actually what Ashley meant.
A lot of times when we're honest with ourselves.
She worked in football. it was a lot of brown balls involved. That's why she hates men. Because she like feels used and abused, like that old trope. I'm trying to get a grasp on this because I don't understand why she'd have such a deep visceral hatred for men, yet she loves her husband or fiance. And she was a part of the football team. So it was a lot of balls moving around.
Ourselves about why we feel the way we do about women. So like if women are existing even online or even in your own personal life, like there's women, and I know we've all had this when we're like, I don't know, I don't really like her. But you have no real reason to not like her. I think that feeling is very common in girlhood, right? Sisterhood. And I think what's important is to stop that thought in its tracks and ask yourself, why don't I like her?
Yep. Oh,
do I not like her for a valid reason, or do I not like her because I'm a hater? And I think if you admit I'm being a hater, sometimes if you say it out loud, like you have the thought and you're like, that's me being a hater, I'm being a hater. When you diagnose it like that, it stops coming because you're like, I have no reason to feel that way, but I'm feeling that way. Why? Probably because the world has conditioned me to not like women who dress a certain way, talk a certain way, act a certain way.
Unbelievable. So even when women have bad traits that make them a little bit more prejudiced towards other women, it's because of the world. So men, inherently evil, no matter what we do, build society, modern medicine, technology. Not me. I'm not attributed to these. I just talk on a microphone, but I'm saying all the important men that did all those things. We're inherently evil, but when women have inherent issues, it's all chalked up to society, of course. And you know who has to fix the society to make it so that the women are better? It's men. It all has to always do with the patriarchy. Everything is rooted in the patriarchy. Even when women are evil, it's because of the patriarchy. It's very, very convenient.
That's not how I feel. That's conditioning. I think when you start, like, it sounds so archaic and so childish, but like when you do it out loud, I think it helps a lot.
And if you are a hater, keep it to yourself or the group chat.
Right. They won't, but we'll be able to tell the difference.
That's the like difference of like a stable person and unstable person. I can hate somebody and I'm just going to tell you about it. And I'm going to talk my shit. Yeah, well, and then in their comments.
And when you have good friends, like good sound walls, when you bounce shit off them, sometimes they're like, I don't know. And then you're like, I'm being a hater. I'm being a hater.
It really hurts my feelings when I say something to Ashley like once a year and she's like, I don't really feel like that. I'm like, I feel so attacked by you right now.
Some people are hateable though, especially people who actively, openly say that they hate other people. Some people are hateable. And sometimes I think that people are hateable, think that they have haters, sometimes because they're successful, but sometimes just because they're delusional. And if you've been saying that you thought that you were perfect since you were pre-pubescent, like before you even hit puberty, who thinks that? That's insane. That sounds like delusion to me. So I'd be very careful about you thinking that people might be hating on you when really they're just kind of upset that you're a hateful person. And when you are a hateful person, you're going to have people not like you back. Like, that's just part of it. Those people aren't all haters. Sometimes they are well provoked by you and your thoughts if you hate people.
So you're calling me a fucking pick-me. Okay.
We'll check each other on that.
That's a good thing.
Like a couple times a year, and it's really hurts my feelings. I'm like, I thought we were exactly the same all the time. Okay, what happened
sometimes
here?
my sister and I were talking about something the other. I forget. I brought something up, and she goes, "Oh no, I'm being a hater. I'm being a hater."
Yeah.
And I started laughing, and she's like, "I'm being a hater. I know I'm being a hater, but I'm in a bad mood, so I'm gonna be a hater." And we were laughing, and then we worked through it. And I think like that's sisterhood. Like it's truly like bouncing it off each other, and then you're like, "Am I being nuts?" And then your girl's like, "Yeah." And you're like, okay, period.
It's one of my favorite chapters in the book, and you call it the fallacy of the leftover women. Can we talk about that theory and what that term comes from? And
absolutely. I actually heard that term from one of my best friends from college, who's still my friend to this day. Her name's Christina Yen. Shout out Tina.
That's where it always starts. The colleges are just churning out women who go into professional fields that absolutely hate men and have a disdain for them. And I think that this is going to be pretty alarming in the next 20 years. They don't understand men. They don't care to. They just believe that if men don't behave like women, then men have to be bad. And I don't think it's going to be good when our professional fields have so many women who have literally been indoctrinated to hate men in those positions of power. It might get kind of weird.
Christina.
But she's Chinese, and she was telling me there is a term in China where they talk about leftover women. And they're women after 30 who are not married and don't have children. And I was like, 30? That's young. me turning 30. I'm like, that's so young. What are you talking about?
Not for kids,
So
though.
I like to talk about it in the book because I think it's something that can transcend culture, obviously, because patriarchy is in every culture ever, unfortunately. And so it speaks to this idea that women have to settle so that they're not left over. So they're not like alone. Like they have to make peace with anything really, because it's like, well, you don't want to be left out. And so I like to tell people like that I made peace with dying alone, right? A long time ago. Like dying alone is so dramatic because I like to differentiate between alone and lonely, right? Because I feel like feelings of loneliness are very human, whereas whether or not you're truly alone is subjective. It depends on your situation. And I think when I realized, I was like, I'm not actually alone.
I think being alone is objective, and being lonely is subjective. I think if you are alone, you are alone. Now, whether you're lonely is subjective, but if you are alone, if you're the only person, then you're alone. Yeah.
Alone, I'm just lonely. Like I yearn for companionship. I think that's a very human feeling. When I was still single, and this was right before I started dating my now fiance, but I made peace with living life unpartnered and being a leftover woman, because in my head I was thinking like I would rather live a beautiful, successful, amazing life filled with people who love me, care about me, and want to see me succeed than just settle for what's just okay in terms of events, just so I don't have to be alone, just so I don't have to be single.
Yeah, she has to keep her husband. He's a part of her identity. And that's important. I do think it's interesting, though, at one point she talked about cis women and transgenderism. But I thought men were inherently evil. And if men are inherently evil, wouldn't trans women be evil inherently because they were born men? But either way, yeah, I hope that everything does work out. It tends to not work out, though, between a guy and a girl when the girl hates men. It seems to not work out well. Because when you make small mistakes, they just attribute you to you doing that thing because you hate them. Instead of them seeing it as a normal human mistake, they see you as inherently evil, and everything you do is calculated to manipulate and essentially kind of torture them. So when you make small mistakes, they become very unforgivable in those circumstances. That's why I tell dudes, don't date a woman that hates men. You think it means that she's going to be pushing away other guys. Number one, those are the women that cheat on you too. But also, those are the women that they're not very forgiving because they don't like you deep down. But yeah, this is interesting, and that's why I'm saying that she has to keep her husband, because I mean, that's kind of where your whole identity is wrapped around now. If you lose the husband, it's like, we can really come at you then. The husband is like the shield, where it's like, well, fiance is the shield, where it's like, I guess it might have worked out for her because some dude, they're engaged, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let me know in the comments below if this video was a W or L, and give me the HBO special. As I hope Brother Out special, hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Till next time.